There is a place where sex, creed, and ethnicity do not harbor division. A place where everybody is military trained so that the police force becomes obsolete. A place where civilian females, instead of asking for permission, instead of waiting for outside help, have taken up arms against their aggressors, against those who intend to rape, enslave, and murder them. This is a place that's giving birth to its own freedom, in spite of the oppressive forces that surround it. This is a place of sincere revolution, and it's been happening for years, and it's happening right now. This is Rojava. Rojava is an active, historically unique socio-political experiment. It is a stateless democracy consisting of bottom-up, self-governing structures. It is a feat in cooperative anarchism. It is a true alternative to the embraced nation-state systems that do nothing but dominate and fail, mindlessly looping through history. Rojava consists of 3 autonomous regions on the border of Turkey and Syria. Rojava is populated by about 2 million people. It has 22 ministries. Each one has 1 minister and 2 deputies. All 3 have to be from a different ethnic background, and at least one of the 3 has to be a woman. Every street has its own democratic assembly. They try to resolve all problems locally, otherwise it gets delegated up if no resolution can be found. Municipalities are completely autonomous, and they make their own decisions and have control of their own resources. It is the localities that make demands from the administration, and the police and military answer to the localities. In Rojava, you can own any kind of weapon, and they do have a police force that you can join after 6 weeks of training, but ultimately their goal is to train every citizen so that the police force is eliminated. They also have the HPC, a network that anybody can claim to be a member of. They are the counterforce against the security apparatus. There is a huge emphasis on education. Permaculture, languages, history, and philosophy are given a lot of weight. Rojava has hundreds of cooperatives, consisting between 50 to 100 people each, and most of which are agriculture-based. The cooperatives form a network which helps work out demand. Their goal is to meet the needs of everyone so that they don't have to rely on money, but they are certainly not anti-money. The emphasis is on self-sufficiency and empowering all people. I'd actually love to see them try using Bitcoin because it would fit their decentralized model. I know some of you are probably getting socialist red flags right now, but keep in mind, no one is forced to be part of a cooperative, and some of the cooperatives actually compete against each other. A farmer is also allowed to just farm his own land and sell privately. People still have private property and they can own their own business. You can buy and sell houses and you register their deeds through local courts. Like I said, you can own land, and if you want to build something on your land, you just have to go to the local assembly and run it by your neighbors. It's all about mutual respect. Oh, one small final thing. There's absolutely no tax. Rojava defends itself with DIY weaponry and anything they can get off the black market or scavenge from ISIS. It has diverse voluntary forces consisting of groups such as the YPG, the YPJ, and the PKK. Rojava forces are currently the only boots on the ground fighting against ISIS, and they are incredibly heroic. They recently conducted a successful rescue mission, saving over 20,000 Yazidi people who were trapped and defenseless against ISIS in the Sinjar Mountains. This all sounds amazing, and it is, but Rojava is crippled. It is getting zero direct help from the West, from NATO, or from any neighboring countries who should all be unifying against ISIS. Worst of all, NATO member Turkey has actually assisted in the crippling of Rojava through the denial of aid and through the enforcement of trade embargoes. Turkey has been oppressing the Kurdish people and their culture as far back as World War I. The Kurds are a large minority in Turkey and were promised independence, a promise that was broken. Since then, there have been numerous battles to regain cultural independence. Turkey does not even acknowledge the Kurds as a people, denying them the right to educate in their own language or even naming their children Kurdish names. In short, there has been an ongoing ethnic elimination of the Kurds that continues to this day. Turkey's behavior throughout the current conflict has been at best incompetent. Turkey denies supporting ISIS, yet the strongest ISIS bases all border Turkey. And ISIS has had a suspiciously easy time crossing the Turkish-Syrian border in order to invade the Rojavan cantons. Turkey has made public statements such as Kobane will not fall, meanwhile rejecting refugees, not providing aid, and not allowing trade channels which would help Rojava get supplies. Turkey has gone as far as unleashing severe police action against peaceful protests that were supporting Rojava and enacting curfews against the demonstrators. One of the ways that Turkey and NATO dismiss Rojava is by classifying the PKK as a terrorist group. The PKK was formed as a reactionary force against the oppressive actions of Turkey in the early 80s. Both the Turkish military and the PKK wreaked havoc on the region, killing over 35,000 people, many of which were Kurdish villagers accused of being aligned with the PKK. The PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan now sits in jail. He has completely abandoned his Marxist dogma, now preaching peaceful solutions and hoping for an investigation into the war crimes committed by both Turkey and the PKK. He currently teaches democratic confederalism, which is a spin on Bookchin's communalism, and is still a thought leader for many of the PKK. It is difficult to deny that Öcalan is a divisive character, but he does not represent Rojava. We cannot look to the past or hypothesize the future. We must look at the current situation. Rojava is in extreme danger. Kobane has been demolished by ISIS. NATO member Turkey sees an autonomous Kurdistan as a personal threat. The Geneva II peace conference was supposed to bring a resolution to the Syrian conflict, but it left out the Kurds entirely. Rojava is the only place with boots on the ground against the forces of ISIS, and no one has shown support for these brave individuals. They just bomb away now and again. But what do we expect from the Western forces, which have crippled an entire region through their legal wars and economic assassinations? The West created ideal circumstances for the birth of oppressive forces, and now they have the worst of them all, the horror that is ISIS. Rojava is in a region of the world where if you are the wrong religion or the wrong gender, you are severely oppressed. Yet it has managed to sustain its people through self-organization, religious tolerance, and mutual respect between genders. I don't care if Rojava doesn't fit your idea of anarchism, communalism, or direct democracy. What matters is that it's a unique socio-political experiment and it's working. What matters is that Rojava is an ideal representation of the human spirit. What matters is that it's a real revolution. Its people are united, transcending deep-rooted cultural differences, and standing strong against all odds in the midst of war. This is not about independence for a specific ethnicity. This is about independence from outside power structures. This is rare. Welcome to this comprehensive guide. In the next few minutes, I will outline how the American government uses the soft kill technique to commit the indirect murder of citizens without liability.